tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everybody. There it is.
Beautiful.
Hi, everybody. This is the Scorpion After Show for Scorpion, episode 14, Charades, season 1. Hi, my name is Nando Velasquez. I am joined opposite me by the lovely Monse Bolanos.
Hi, so good to be back.
I know, so good to see you back. Yeah. And then also right next to her, we have Ryland Adams.
Hey, guys.
And this is a very special edition of Scorpion. We're doing this a little bit earlier in the day. That quick song was The Church Under the Milky Way, which ended the episode this week. But we were doing this episode earlier on a Monday. We couldn't do it last night, but there was a new episode of Scorpion last night. Who would have thunk it? Right?
No.
Right after the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, well, we had speculations for this.
Ryland was watching that.
Ryland's such a football fan.
I was diehard into that football game. You guys don't even know.
You know, I think the reason why they had this show on Sunday was to get football fans invested in Scorpion, but really, I think it was to get Ryland invested in football.
In football, seriously.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
We just told Ryland who's going to the Super Bowl.
Whoa, way to call me out, you guys.
We
That's
just
just
told them.
wrong.
Who's going to the Super Bowl?
Twitter told me Seahawks and somebody else. Yeah, she's throwing me under the bus, but I was like, they put Scorpion after the Super Bowl so that all these football dudes would come over and watch our girl Catherine McPhee and the beautiful cast of Scorpion.
Totally.
Well, you know, I was saying this before to you guys, but you know, originally I thought this was a weird idea putting a nerdy show on after such a big sporting event, kind of like putting the chess club in center field on homecoming weekend.
Right.
You know, but after seeing this episode, it was a pretty damn hot episode. Like if I wasn't into Scorpion, but I just was watching the football game and left the TV on, I'd be like, from the beginning, I'd be like, hey, this is a pretty hot show.
Yeah,
Agreed, because
sure.
you first see Catherine McPhee
In
in
bed.
bed,
Yeah.
just with the sheet, and then we have the spy, who is the actress Nazneen
Super
Contractor.
hottie.
So we're going to call you Contractor.
Contractor.
Last name.
Yes.
Both very attractive ladies.
Both very attractive ladies. Yes, we open up seeing Paige in bed, you know, like obviously just had sex and talking, and you know, even if you didn't know any of the characters here.
And before we knew that this was a dream, I was like panicking that she had slept with Drew because I was just like, you can't do this.
Me
You're
too.
ruining my future with you and Walter.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
agree. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It was like, what did I, you know, it was bad enough that they didn't have an episode on last week, probably to not go against the college football game.
Right.
But to miss 2 weeks and in the first scene, all of a sudden it's like, what the hell did I really miss an episode?
I know. I thought the same thing.
Yeah. So we see Paige. Paige is in bed. There's a mysterious man off camera, and she's talking about, you know, what this might mean, and she mentions it's Drew, and then of course we see Walter coming out. Bing! Bam! And the second that happens, I'm like, okay, dream sequence. Obviously, that was a dream
that's
sequence.
exactly
Because
what I
there's
was
no
like,
way those two are going to hook up anytime
But
that soon.
the thing is, you dream things that you want in reality.
That's
I
true.
feel like you manifest, like your dreams are weird things. They're weird creatures.
That was pretty. I mean, when Paige shows up at Scorpion's home base, and you know Toby starts talking to her about the dream. And says, oh no, Walter's the one that said that actually, right?
Yeah.
It was Walter that first said, when she said she didn't know the details because she didn't want to obviously tell Walter what she was thinking of.
Yeah.
Walter's like, oh, you were probably suppressing it because, it was probably traumatic. You didn't want to remember it. And she said, what would it mean if I remembered it? He
Yeah,
said,
what-
I mean, you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, when she's
I was
like, I
like-
remember it vividly, yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, that means you enjoyed it. And I was like, yeah, you did, Paige.
Yeah, you totally did.
loved it.
Absolutely.
And she obviously did, because she was hot and bothered by Walter this whole episode.
The whole
and
episode.
Nothing makes me happier.
Well, this was a great episode. You know, let's get into that part of it because we've seen before a couple of weeks ago the one with Hetty when Hetty from CSI
Yes.
was on the episode. We saw her call out Walter for being in love with Paige.
Right.
That was when they were on that little date. They were posing as a couple.
Right.
Yeah. So this is the first time we've really seen Paige all of a sudden realize I have a thing for Walter.
Yeah. And they both, I think, were realizing that they have more of a thing for each other than they thought.
But not at the same time
No,
necessarily.
at different moments. At different moments in the entire episode. I agree. Yeah.
There's still that tension, obviously.
Definitely.
But, this is finally Paige's awakening to I am attracted to Walter.
And where was Drew this episode? Is he at tryouts right now?
Drew's probably back up in Portland.
Who cares?
Good,
Yeah.
stay there.
Who cares? We don't care where you're at.
We'll Skype you. We'll Skype.
We don't care. You stay wherever you're at.
You can come back into our show via Skype.
Via Skype.
Only.
Even though I think he's in the episode tonight.
Is he?
I think so.
All right. Well, I'll welcome you back. Drew.
Ryland, just quickly jumped on that.
Just
Don't
jump on
touch our
that.
girl, Catherine.
Yeah,
God.
stay away.
Hilarious.
Just go back to tryouts.
Okay. Well, anyway, so we, so we're gonna see a lot of this whole Paige realization. Her and Walter definitely get to play up on being loved. It's a very hot episode, like I said.
Right.
So let's talk about the tactic, the case of the week.
Bum, bum,
Okay.
Bum bum bum, which
CIA.
is Gabe comes over with a mission from the CIA to encrypt. There's an encrypted message and there's a leak in the LA office that's going to Yemen, and they need to be able to decrypt the message, figure out who the leak is, and also retrieve whatever was stolen, whatever secrets were given, whatever information was given away. So they, of course, Scorpion, they figure it out within 2 seconds.
Yes.
And it ends up being a love letter of sorts, which was really funny. Again, it kind of adds to the whole Paige, what Paige is going through, and seeing how...
And she's the one that called it as well. Everyone else was like, no.
Well, what's Boo? Boo must be base of operations, or Boo must be... I can't remember what the other Boo was.
Right.
Ballistics or something. Ballistics office. And he goes, no, Boo is what you call someone, like my Boo.
Right, endearing term.
Endearing term. And they're like, no, of course not. That's, of course not. And Walter has this big reason why it can't be... anything like a love message.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Oh, Walter.
Anyway, so yeah, we definitely see that Paige has that whole she could read a love letter, and the analysts, the nerds, can't really figure out what a love letter is. They think, no, this is too complicated. This doesn't work.
Right.
So anyway. So, so they end up going over to the CIA. They have to trust Team Scorpion because they can't trust anyone in the CIA because, God forbid, they give this to the leak to decrypt. Then their plan gets foiled, and they get found out. So Team Scorpion goes in, and again, this is the CIA. These are highly trained agents. They probably know how to keep a straight face, and they know exactly how not to give anything away.
Right.
But of course, Team Scorpion figures it out pretty fast.
Yeah, team of geniuses.
Team geniuses.
Toby can figure it out.
Yeah, Toby figures it out. Well,
with the help of
Paige, because Paige was like, just pretend that he's in love. Look for somebody that looks like they're in love, and they were able to get it with Paige's help, really, between
Super
Paige
fast.
and Toby. But before we get to that, let's talk about. I don't want to miss the little fun interaction,
because things between Toby and Happy just killed me this week.
Yeah, and it
tension.
And it started off when they went over to the experimental, technology area department with this agent who I didn't look her up. I don't know if you did.
No.
She reminded me of Rosario Dawson. It's not her, but she reminded me a little bit of her. She looked a lot like her. But anyway, so we ended up having this little fun interaction between Happy, Toby, and the agent over in the experimental lab. So we see the agent showing off a pen pick.
Yeah, and Happy's like, I don't need that.
I don't need that to open anything.
I can do it out with some. What did she say? Tweezers?
She's like, all I need is a paperclip.
All I need is a
paperclip.
paperclip. And then, so we see the pen pick. Then we see the gecko gloves,
which are kind of awesome.
They're kind of awesome, and it kind of reminded me of Mission Impossible 4.
Yes.
Didn't Tom Cruise have those similar ones?
And
for
that's my dream, to be climbing up a glass window just with these. Cool
I don't know.
gloves.
Based on what I saw happen later.
Based on what happened later, no. But when I first see the idea, I'm like, that's epic.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But when she shows the gecko glove, she flirtingly says, "Cat suit not included."
Right.
And Toby's like, "I bet you have one." So there's obviously that little thing. And then we saw that quick shot of Happy getting a little steamed.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and Happy was getting steamed because of Agent. The agent's name, the actress is Jennifer Lee.
Jennifer Lee
is the actress. And she was in The Agent, is what her title would be.
She's the agent.
CIA agent, yeah.
CIA.
So I guess we're not going to be seeing much more of her if she's just the agent. If she was if she was named Mary something, maybe we could see her again.
Agent Mark Chan.
They also introduced us to that awesome shirt.
Marchand.
That shirt too, which was an Echo. Yeah, I had it written down. It was a portable or wearable electromagnetic bullet shield.
Oh yeah, you really got that there.
That diverted the bullet like 4 inches or something.
Yes. Yeah, enough to save a life. That was important, enough to save a life. So really, really interesting devices, and we got to see at least, we didn't get to see the pen pick because Happy doesn't need a pen pick. No. But I guess Toby, from his flirting with the agent, was able to get
all these goodies, all the goods.
These goodies, and we got to see them in action, both the gecko gloves and the bullet shield a little bit later on. But anyway, so the guys figured out really quickly, like Toby does really, really well, picks out the one agent that it had to be the leak, and it ends up being this guy Leonard, who if you have your thing open, I think that's the guy from Jag that they were advertising, but
Leonard Mackenzie Aston.
Yeah, well, no, that was his name.
That's his actor name.
That's his real name.
That's his stage name. Mackenzie Aston, who played Leonard.
Yeah, he looked really familiar to me too.
Probably not.
Oh boy, that was weird. Anyway, so Leonard is brought into Team Scorpion, and Leonard, we find out that Leonard's been talking to this woman from Yemen and getting her chemicals for the farmers. They need pesticides because there's not enough people to eat, and there's this really compelling story.
He just thinks he's doing good for the world.
Yeah, a heartwarming story. He doesn't think he's gonna be in trouble once he tells them.
He's doing the
he totally admits that he did the crime, but he doesn't think he did anything wrong, so he has no problem at all saying this. So and he doesn't believe that this agent is honey potting him.
Yes.
Which, by the way, if you have seen the interview, and I'm not necessarily advertising to see the interview, it's all about honey potting. Like, besides the whole controversy and everything, honey potting, and there's another word for, I think, when it's a guy doing it to another guy or a guy doing it to a girl, is all over the movie. It's really funny. So I almost thought it was hilarious to see this, like, just a couple of weeks after the interview came out, they're talking about honey potting. So I thought it was pretty funny. So apparently this agent's honeypotting Leonard, and yet Leonard doesn't realize it. I mean, just playing
sweet
him.
Guy.
He's sweet guy.
Like, good intention.
He got a manicure for her.
That's how Toby called it out. He's like, that just from knowing that he likes somebody. He's like, no, he got a manicure.
He got a manicure.
Game changer.
That's
right
a big deal.
Have you guys ever gotten a manicure?
I have not.
I have.
Probably.
You have for a girl?
Yeah.
No.
What was the circumstances?
Why?
You know what? I was at a press event. And there was a spa. I was invited to a hotel press event, and they had a spa doing a whole bunch of full services. And I was like, there was no line for the manicure.
Why not?
And I was like, why not? I'll do a manicure.
I think I wouldn't say no. I probably need a pedicure, though. Never had one of those.
You guys should invest in some pedicures and manicures, just saying.
Only if you take
We
us.
do it. I mean, we do it, obviously.
Yeah, but for us or for you?
A little bit of both. I mean, you can't just do it all for another person. It's a little bit of both.
Right.
But you guys can do it.
Gotta want to look good
know?
to feel
Okay.
good, you know?
Girls talk about toes and fingers.
No, I'm sure they do. No, and I'm sure, like they said when
Ryland's
they said Leonard
scheduling an
had.
appointment.
Well, when Leonard had one, they said a
Yeah,
guy.
I'm on my phone.
A guy
scheduling.
obviously is going to be getting a manicure for a girl, and I guess that's a good. If a girl kind of says, suggests it, I'm sure I would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know if I would do it regularly.
You might get addicted.
I don't. The one
I'm
time
just
I got
kidding.
it,
I've
I
never
don't
done
think
it.
so.
Did
Anyway.
it feel any better? Like, were you like, yeah?
It felt good. It felt good, but I don't. As a guy, I'm like, I can't see myself like saying, you know what? I got to save up money for my weekly manicure.
Yeah.
Get the guys
Well,
together
we're not
to go
asking
see
that
the
either.
football game.
Maybe when I'm rolling in bucks.
We're not asking for
Let's go to
weekly
the
appointments
salon
here.
for the football game and get our manicures.
I'm just saying, maybe like once every 6 months.
Yeah.
Get a little.
And again, yeah, good point. It's really nice to see men getting manicure on the show right after a football game.
Yeah.
It's really nice to see that mentioned.
Catering to different audiences.
Little hint, Patriots fans, for the Super Bowl, get a manicure.
Yeah, get a little manicure.
Yeah, exactly.
Meanwhile,
right?
what I loved then, though, was that Paige goes to Toby to ask for, like, advice on what to do with her, like, situation of life.
Well, she's going to. You figure she's got to share with somebody, and Toby makes the most sense.
Because he's the behaviorist. But still,
shrink.
like, I don't know if I'd go to any of them.
Well, I was just assuming that if she does say anything to Toby, the whole team's going to know within 2 seconds because Toby's not going to keep quiet.
Right.
And I think Paige knew that, and that's why she didn't say anything.
She's like, bye.
Truth.
It was really funny just seeing Toby go, look, you know what? I can't make magic here. You got to give me everything. You're holding back, and I
Because
got to
he
hear
wants
it.
it. You know he wants it.
I think he knows.
He knows. He's
knows.
just, yeah.
Well, yeah, because he hints at it towards the end as well.
Yeah, he knows. He's just trying to get it out of her. He doesn't want to say it. He wants her to say it.
Yeah, exactly. But I think once she says it, like, he's going to tell everybody.
Probably.
So I think it was
Except
just-
Walter. He
was
won't tell
just-
Walter.
Yeah, but Walter, of course, in a comedic event, like, everyone will know before Walter, but then Walter will
Right.
find out because everybody knows.
Because everybody knows.
It'll be embarrassing as all hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be crazy.
It'll be like Paige seducing him.
Yeah, but anyway, so Leonard is in custody, and Leonard doesn't want to help. So Walter ends up getting him to speak into a voice recorder,
Yeah, which is hilarious.
while he has to read this whole thing to say that they did their job or whatever, and then he had to say a couple of words at the end. What was it? Purple something? I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, something weird.
Goofy. And Walter gets to pretend he's Leonard talking to this agent, Seema. Who's in, he's in love, and Walter's like, I can handle this. I can totally handle this. And Paige is like, no, you can't. And we get to see a really funny moment where Walter's like, oh, my day was exceptional today. I can't remember what he was saying exactly, but it was just losing lots of long words and nothing really flirty.
Right.
So we get to see Paige. We got to see Paige teach him in a pretty hot way. That was another hot moment, I gotta say.
It was.
Hearing Paige do a little flirty talk, even though she's talking to another woman. To boot on the phone.
Yeah.
And I think it was Sylvester had that great line. Maybe we should be recording this one too.
Well, she really shows them how to seduce somebody.
Yeah.
And they're all
Well,
just
she had moments like that because she had that moment, and then they set up the appointment for Marvin, who ended up being Walter. Of course.
Right.
And Walter had to go and try and prove himself there, and then Paige tried to give him a lesson.
Yeah, when she was like touching.
That was hot. I was like,
that was hot.
I thought
hands and was like,
I
"About
thought
this?
that was gonna be our first kiss
What
for a
about
hot
this?
second.
What if she does this?
She got so close and she's like touching his face. And he's like, do it,
Ryland's
Paige.
not reacting
Yeah,
to you.
Ryland doesn't care that
Monse's
I'm
just
doing
like this. So the scene was really exciting. Let me tell you, this scene.
Unless you want me to reenact it.
Yeah, okay. So you'll be Paige. I'll be Walter.
Just grab that.
Or the mic can be Walter.
Well, there's so much there. I'm not going to say a thing. This is getting a little out of hand.
But it was great. That's the point. It was great.
It was great. I actually would have liked to have seen a kiss there. It would have been really funny to see a kiss
I would have
there.
loved it. Nothing.
Yeah. I thought she was going to go up all the way up to his lips and then not.
How fun for them
But
too.
I really,
that was probably a fun day at work for them because they're actually dating,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'd be fun to play it, like keep away a little bit.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah, it's
tension
like,
thing.
oh.
I'm sure it'd be really, really fun. So anyway, we have Walter out in the scene, and he's got Paige in his ear. Oh yeah, Paige is his Cyrano, and I love this line. Walter's like, "Oh, that's the story about the guy with the huge with the disease, the huge nose disease, or whatever it was." And she's like, "Is that all you got out of that story?" And she's like, I was just transfixed with his medical condition or something." I was like, "Really?"
Yeah.
Hilarious. So we have to see really fun stuff with this really hot agent and Walter.
Really hot agent.
Yeah. Well, Seema, this hot. Yeah, she was hot. Seema was hot.
It became. I said attractive earlier, and now it's hot. We've moved on.
We could go to sexy now.
Are you saying she wasn't hot?
She was.
Okay.
She was a little
She was.
hottie.
All right.
She was a little
She was
hottie.
like a seductive.
And
Yeah.
she had a very light accent,
A light accent.
which made her even
From
hotter.
Yemen. A little ethnic. You gotta love that. Yeah, you gotta love that. So I'm
Gotta love that.
yeah, you gotta love that.
Shout
So
out.
meanwhile, while they are flirting in the bar, Happy and Toby are supposed to be going into her hotel room, Seema's hotel room, to get information to see if they could figure out where the two chemicals that she's already gotten from Leonard are at.
Right.
Any information leading to that. So we get to see Sylvester do a little work as a USC fan, trying to watch the game and get her key card. And then also Happy got to use the gloves because they couldn't go into the room because it was booby trapped.
Right.
So Happy got to use the gloves, which is Ryland dream, and we got to
Yeah,
see
that is my dream.
We got to see that one big butt shot that they purposely got on
Which
Happy.
was a terrible angle.
It was a terrible angle.
Oh, it was such a
But Toby's
bad.
still like gawking.
Yeah, and I was like, I agree. I'm glad they did that, but the angle of the shot was
It
so
wasn't like
bad.
It wasn't flattering.
butt angle,
It wasn't a flattering shot.
And it should have been because they were trying to,
like-
yeah, it should have been a flattering butt
but
shot.
you know,
And
it's still
cut
comical.
off- no.
Yeah, but it's
No.
still cute, too geeky people.
I still got what they were
Ryland,
trying
show
to
him your
do.
butt. We'll give him a good butt shot.
After the show. Twitter.
Twitter.
It was still pretty funny, and it was the typical little moments. And of course, Happy was a little upset too that Toby's getting all these little gifts from the agent as well.
He calls at the very beginning. He says when that whole encounter happened at the CIA I assume it was the CIA headquarters.
Yeah.
They were in the tech department. Yeah. He says to her, a woman who's pretty, mechanically inclined, and nice.
Oh yeah, that's
and then
right.
he gives.
And then he gives, and
Happy
then Lackey. That was me trying to say looking happy. Happy then looks at him like she's just like, yeah. So that line was, I thought, great.
That was awesome.
That was a great line.
But of course, the gecko gloves didn't really work for long. No. So
long enough for her to get high enough to die.
Just barely. Yeah, exact 30 feet up in the air. And Sylvester's there like, we're not going to catch her.
Yeah.
So she luckily got in and was able to get a key for a storage unit while this whole fun stuff's happening between Walter and Seema.
I just got to say, I love Paige's commentary in Walter's ear the whole time this is happening.
Yeah.
He's just like coaching him through this. It's epic.
Oh, it's great seeing that. And, and you could also see it was a great acting all around because you could see Paige getting a little, jealous here and there. And then there was that one line, I guess it was toward the end. I mean, we'll jump ahead a little bit because we don't have much time for this show, unfortunately. Right. There was that one line when Paige had Walter say something like, "You are the most beautiful woman I've ever met," or something, and he says, "I really love it when you speak into my ear." It was at the very end when Seema was like right against his ear.
I love your voice.
So it was really perfect. Yeah, and then there was that other line in the elevator, going backtracking a little bit, when Walter stopped the elevator to stall. Mm-hmm. And he said that he's kind of has his thing with another woman right now. And deep inside that he's talking about Paige.
And then when he had to stop time for Happy to escape the hotel room and you had to kiss her, you could just see Paige like fuming.
Paige is fuming, like, and it wasn't helping. And it wasn't really helping necessarily that Toby was like, well, he must be a bad kid. Maybe Toby was doing that because he knows.
Yeah,
he's not really that in. She's not really that into it.
But then he blamed it on Walter, saying Walter's the bad kisser, not her.
Which I agree. I don't think he was doing that to set him up.
But to be fair, later on, he took it back, saying that she was in love with another guy, and that's why she couldn't be kissing Walter.
Yeah, because Walter figured that out. But there we go. Whatever. But anyway, really, really cute. We got to see Happy sneak out. What I thought was really interesting. One of several things I thought was interesting in this episode was, they were concerned about the hotel room being booby trapped, but they weren't as concerned about the storage unit being booby. They knew it was being booby trapped, but they still opened it anyway. And I really feel like
they knew Walter's like in the presence of this girl and has like a ticking
time bomb.
Yeah, and I feel like you open up the storage unit that she has the key for, and you see the refrigerator, and you assume that the chemicals are inside. So just arrest her already.
Arrest her,
especially if you think it's booby trapped. You know. But they opened it up. She gets the alert.
By Walter.
And smacks the hell out of Walter. Next thing you know, he's on a plane about to head toward Yemen. Mm-hmm. And we don't get to see all the stuff that happens, but there's going to be a tray because we're like knocked out like Walter is. We kind of wake up with Walter. And apparently there's going to be this big trade. Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing they're doing this, without the CIA really. Well, I guess the CIA knew because they had all three chemicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the CIA knew that this is what Cabe and Scorpion was going to do.
Right.
So Cabe goes on the plane and gives the three chemicals and the litmus test so that they can prove that those chemicals are real.
Right.
And also sneaks over a little. I think that was the pin.
That might have been the pin. Yeah.
That was
I didn't even
pick.
associate that when I was watching the episode.
I didn't either.
Until right now. You're right.
I was watching on the computer screen, so it didn't hit me like as a big thing, but I realized that was the pen pick.
Yeah, it totally was.
So Toby had everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that
Walter
girl liked him.
Walter used the pen pick. I hope we see her again. Walter had the pen pick and opened up. And you know what? Even though like Callow got shot, but of course he had the shield on.
I know, and I knew immediately. It was a good moment because you got shot. You're like, he's alive.
Well, once I saw the gecko gloves being used, I was thinking, you know what? The shirt's someone's gonna get shot in this episode. And I'll be wearing that shirt. Once I just assumed that was gonna happen. But Callow gets shot, gets thrown out of the plane. But Walter gets loose. He gets uncuffed, and having Walter on the plane obviously is a dangerous thing because he could just use anything as a weapon, and he ended up using the mini bar to make this big explosive bomb type action. And we have to see a lot of action from Walter in this episode. You know,
a lot of acting, everything from Walter.
A lot.
Yeah.
Again, really good episode to show for the Sunday night after AFC game. And, you know, we got to see Walter fighting with Fatima, now her name is Seema, otherwise known as Fatima, although she said that's not her real name either. Right. And he's holding his own against her, which I think was a little also like, okay, come on, really? Yeah. It's not like these guys have training, but obviously it's the heat of the moment. And
adrenaline.
The adrenaline there's a hole in the side of a plane,
which is nuts.
And he didn't do it to me. He didn't do anything too crazy. Like the way he had the explosion happen. Yeah. He totally would think of that. That's something he could totally do. And the struggle between them wasn't too not believable. Yeah. I agree. She probably has more trained and she could probably kick his butt. But he survived it.
And he gets her to electrocute herself with that knife. With that knife. Because those private planes, of course, have sockets just hanging around that you can just put metal devices on.
There are a few moments in this that just kill me though. Like as soon as he hits the thing to go faster, it's like really that had to happen. Yeah. Of course to like ensue.
Well, and then after he throws the chemicals over, which is also another funny moment with Sylvester. Like, don't say you're gonna throw those chemicals. And obviously, had to throw them because if they exploded, it would have caused the nerve gas that they were afraid of getting. And the second Walter jumps off, then the pilot all of a sudden moves the thing again, and it stops safely. So I was like, really?
That's what I was saying.
And I was thinking, why didn't Walter just go over to the?
Locked.
That was my biggest. It was locked. But the thing that made me so mad is Walter finally makes the big jump, and then the plane stops. I was like, if it was going to stop, you could have just stayed in the plane, you know? Like, let there be an epic plane crash because then it was anticlimactic. Yeah. Or just don't let us see it. Let him jump and be fine and let the plane go out into the distance. But we saw the plane come to a jolting stop. I was like, what?
But you know what? They wanted her to survive because they wanted to talk more about her and Leonard because Walter discovered on the plane that she was in love with, she was expecting Leonard on the plane with the trade. And Walter discovered that she was actually in love with Leonard. And they call it the Weissman effect, which I didn't look up, but I wonder if that's real.
I started thinking the same thing because when I have like friends that like tell me that I am a certain way, and then after they tell me that for a while, I'm like, maybe I am that way when I know I'm not. So I think like if somebody's like, oh yeah, I love you, you probably start to believe it.
Well, I think it's like anyone, if you believe a lie long enough, it ends up being the truth.
Truth.
You know, and I think that's the same case. If you keep lying to this guy long enough, maybe you start believing that maybe it is true. He is a nice guy.
Right.
You know,
and he wasn't faking anything. Like he was being genuine.
He was being genuine.
So yeah.
So I could totally see that being, you know, it's kind of like a little bit of a what's that other thing, Florence Nightingale effect, or with the captor thing. Yeah, I can't, there's another name for that one. But yeah, the Weissman effect. I have to look this up. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to look that up. But anyway. Yeah, so that pretty much ends the episode more or less as far as the case. It looks like Fatima, Seema is going to be in jail, and Leonard, maybe they'll have matching cells so they get to be left together in jail.
Conjugal visits.
And we get to see conjugal visits.
Between them?
You can't really have conjugal visits with two prisoners.
You know, I don't know how it works. Okay, Nando, believe it or not, I've never been to prison, so I don't know.
Well, neither have I. I just don't assume conjugal visits go to two people in the same prison.
Have you not seen Orange is the New Black? No, I'm kidding.
I don't think
You're right. I do feel like I'm... Before we move on too more, I just want to say, you guys didn't, when you guys were watching the episode, you know what I thought of? Liar, liar. I was like, I've seen this before.
Oh.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, you're kind of right. Which was like, I watched that movie on repeat as a kid.
Yeah, and like the whole, like the vehicle that Happy uses to help him, that's the same vehicle that Jim Carrey takes in Liar, Liar to stop the plane. Like that entire scene.
Was like that?
All I thought of was Liar, Liar.
I don't remember that, but that's just me.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if that was just me. But
no, yeah.
I can't remember that movie.
It didn't pop in my head, but now that you say it, I'm like, ding, ding, ding.
I remember seeing that movie, but it was so long ago.
It's such a great movie.
It is such a great movie.
The pen is
blue. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway.
Okay, well, that's I guess I was alone. Ryland's kind of halfway with me.
I mean, you always have the things that we don't know, so it's good for us to finally have one that you don't know.
Yes.
All right.
It's only fair.
I'll watch Outlier some other time. Okay. Anyway, so we get to see the ending a little bit more. We talked a little bit about it, but we get to see a nice little scene with Walter and Ralph, and then Toby giving a little information to Paige. And I thought it was really, really important. I think it really is going to determine where Paige's heart is because, you know, Toby asks Paige straight up, says, "What's the most important thing to you right now?" And she says, "Ralph."
Of course.
And he goes, "Okay, well, whatever you're gonna do, whether it's with Drew or this other guy, whoever he may be, Walter, you know, you get to figure out what's what's the most important for you for the thing that you value the most.
Yes.
And I think seeing that scene, well, you know what? First, let's go into predictions because I think we're at that point right now. We should just go into predictions because we're running a little.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Awesome. So, yeah, let's talk about this because I think this is really important. I didn't see any scenes from tonight's episode, so I have no idea.
I didn't either.
Because we all watched it we didn't watch it after the game.
No.
It's so funny. But anyway, you know, this is the question I guess we ask every single week for the past couple of weeks. Like, will she go with Drew? Will she go with Walter? But I really don't think that, you know, it seems so much like a slam dunk when Toby says do what's best for Ralph. Mm-hmm. And you see Walter and Ralph sharing that little alone time together.
Yeah.
That Paige would be like, well, of course the best thing for Ralph is if I'm together with Walter. But I don't think...
That's not what it... No. She's going to say what the girl thought process of that is.
Yes, let's hear the girl.
She's going to be like, well, I can't date Walter because if we break up, that's going to hurt Ralph.
Oh, that's
So
smart. It is a
I gotta
messy
go
situation.
to the father and give it a shot.
And no, though.
Because being with the father would be the best thing possibly
Yeah.
for the kid. And not to mention the fact that, you know, he's already socially awkward. He doesn't fit in.
Right. So she would never want to ruin what she has with Walter now.
Yeah.
So that Ralph always has Walter.
So you're saying Walter should be destined to be the best friend. Like, I can't go out with you because if we broke up, that would be worse than if we never hooked up.
Yes, that's basically what the advice that
then
Toby
it's like-
gave. That's what I would think as a
But
mom.
then it's like holding back on what could be the best thing.
But I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that that's what's going to happen for now.
But that's what's going to possibly happen for now, because I don't think it's that
For
much of a
now.
slam. I don't think it's that much of a slam. It looks like a slam dunk to
Right.
me. Seeing that episode, do what's best for Ralph. Yeah, Ralph is hanging out with Walter, having this
Right.
great little tender moment.
Yeah.
That's what's best for Ralph, to be with Walter.
I hope so.
She's going to think that's best for, that's what you're saying, is she thinks that's going to be best for Ralph if they keep things the way they are right now as friends.
Dating Drew will also push Walter away because we know Walter will get jealous. They have this like thing. That's
We
undeniable.
know it, but Paige might not realize it as much.
And Paige might not want to separate them because the best thing for Ralph
Yeah.
is to have Scorpion.
Yes.
And so she won't want to jeopardize
But
that.
if Drew has to go out of state, there's a lot of factors.
Well, see, that's the episode. And then she's going to move or pretend to move. And then she's going to be at the airport. And Walter's going to come and it's going to be like, I love you. Don't
And there
go.
we go. And that
Don't.
and scene.
And that's the
And
episode.
then
So you're welcome.
I'll be standing on the couch screaming,
There we
tweeting,
go.
yelling.
So, yeah, I don't know exactly what's going to happen in this episode. So, and actually, we're doing our second show in a couple of hours.
Yeah,
so we're
so-
gonna watch Scorpion in a couple of hours, and then we'll be here to do this. But we are actually. We haven't really tweeted this, and I'm going to tweet this right now afterwards. We have a special guest for our next show. We have Sylvester.
Yeah.
Ari Stidham, who plays Sylvester from Scorpion, will be joining us tonight. If you are tuning into this live right now on YouTube or on AfterBuzzTV.com, it'll be at 7 o'clock, approximately 7 o'clock Pacific time.
Yes.
Today, Monday, January 19th. Yes, absolutely.
So you gotta come
tune
back.
in. Yes, you got to come back. And yeah, it's going to be really, really exciting. A lot of stuff to talk about with him. He's one of our favorite characters on the show. So
Yes.
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Otherwise, in the next couple of hours, well, and also, you know, if you're not looking at us live and you're listening to us on iTunes and you've subscribed to us, please rate and comment on us. So we'd love 5 stars. We need to get more of these, and it'll help us get more guests like Ari on the show. He's very excited to come on. What was that?
I'm just making
Ryland,
weird faces.
yeah.
I'm excited
For the
about
iTunes
Ari
people, you're
coming.
making weird faces.
Yeah, that's why if
Positive
you're on
weird
iTunes,
faces.
you gotta also make your way over to YouTube so you can come see our faces.
Positive
That's
faces.
it. Well, that pretty
Yes.
much wraps
We'll
up our
smile.
show for right now. Till the next couple of hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you know what? Where can we catch you guys when we're not here doing 2 shows a day?
Well, you guys, when you are not here, you can catch me on Twitter. I'll update you on everything. I probably just talk about really weird stuff
Except
at
football.
Ryland_Adams. Yeah, I'm not. If you want sports, don't come to me. If you want anything entertainment, I'm your guy.
I cut you off. So say where can we reach you again?
Ryland_Adams. Bam.
There you you go. So if you want to talk about sports, you can tweet me.
We're like
you
the
can
best package. We're the package.
Yeah, just tweet. But we'll give you the all around information. If you need anything on sports, you can tweet me. Find me at Monse Bolanos, MonseBolanos. You can also find me on Instagram. Same name.
Yeah, sorry. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Nandovel, Nandovel. And here on AfterBuzz on other shows. By the way, if you could look at our lower thirds, they all have a hashtag on them now. And our hashtag, I believe, is ABTV Scorpion. So if you have any questions or anything you want to comment, please feel free to add that hashtag ABTV Scorpion. Otherwise, tune in later on tonight if you're watching live. Otherwise, we can't wait to catch you next time. Thanks.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.
Executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.